Hello, hello, hello. Well, I posted that first one and then my nervous system had a little bit of a crash. But it was in a more gentle way this time around. I wasn't bullying myself like out of fear. I was simply resting. So, I am traveling this week. Today is 222. 22226. Um And I've challenged myself. I want to post every day for this week. I will be traveling till Friday. Today's Sunday. So from Sunday to Friday. Um, a part of me, excuse me, I burped. A part of me was like, excuse me again. That's how I know I'm getting too excited and starting to rush is when I start hiccuping and burping. It's like too much air goes in. Anyway, whew. Yeah. So all morning I was like, okay, Angel, it's Sunday. You wanted to challenge yourself. I'm like, yeah, but what am I going to talk about? The object of this game, this experiment for science, is simply to be open enough of an energetic channel to let my higher self come through. You know, that's been the name of the game in life. Make room for my spirit. And then she's the one who called me here. So why doesn't, ooh, chills. Wow. Look at that. Can you see that? It's just so crazy. These, I've been calling them like confirmation bumps, if you will. Like, oh, look at that. That's insane. Okay, so maybe that's what they are because, yeah. Anyway, all right. Reel it in, Angel. Um, so I'm just gonna get quiet and see what she wants to say. Okay. So in the first video, I talked a little bit about the worries of the world and how it could be extremely heavy to be able to show up fully in your life, in our lives, while all this heaviness is happening. And, I mentioned it's very important to ask ourselves who we want to be at this time in this lifetime and how we want to show up right now and in our lives, just in our lives in general. Sometimes when I post like a selfie or, yeah, a selfie, um, people will very graciously and generously is the word I meant to use, compliment the photo, me, the skin, the hair, the photogenic, the smile, the eyes, and it's very lovely. Thank you. And yet, somehow, I've always known or had this belief system that says, you know, beauty is only skin deep and does not last forever. And that came to mind today. Like when we're asking ourselves, who do we want to be? There's a lot of external upgrades that people are going through. You know, uh, we do our hair, we do our makeup. There's more plastic surgery getting done than ever that I've seen. Um, and then the issues with social media in general that I'm sure curating the highlight reels and editing and photos and stuff. What's really funny is I'm this is the second time now I've been called on while I don't feel super put together, if you will. I I didn't style my hair and I'm not wearing any makeup and I think that's fun. I do. I think that's fun. Cuz it kind of proves my point. Case in point, point in case is beauty beauty's only skin deep and does not last forever. So it's really fucking important that we are in alignment internally with our values, with our belief systems, with our actions, and we with our nervous systems, and so we can show up intentionally, consciously, and you know walk away fulfilled. No one's getting out of this life alive. We might as well get some fulfillment out of this thing, right? um I'm al- mm. I'm also hearing that life is so stinking overwhelming on a day-to-day basis. There's layers, right? There's like the yes, the grander scheme, the fears, the worries of the world, but there's also the stress from the day-to-days, and then our own internal dialogues, not being so nice to us, that it's so easy to forget who we really, really are underneath our titles, our roles, our identities, and our fear, our scarcity mindsets, our fixed mindsets. And so, unfortunately, there's a lot of people who either don't know who they are or have forgotten who they are, they feel like they've um, moved so far away from who they are and they don't know how to get back. And then there are just some unconscious folks that don't even realize they're not who they're meant to be, nor do they have, like, without that awareness, nor do they have the longing to get back to who they are supposed to be. Sorry for stuttering. I have a feeling the more we do this, the more it'll iron out. I'll be a little more comfortable in front of, behind them, in front of the camera. But then also, like, I want to become so clear of a channel that the ego can just get out of the way. I still feel bits and pieces of me trying to articulate this stuff in such a way that's palatable for you. So I just, shaking it off. That's what these first few videos are going to be about, right? Getting over the visibility wounds and um, letting go of the perfectionism, um, and detaching, detaching, detaching from the outcome, detaching from the fear of being misunderstood, rejected, all of it, all of it. So I hope to iron all that stuff out over these next few videos. But as far as getting a glimpse of who we really are, one might want to start with what makes you smile, what makes you laugh. In the words of the famous Marie Kondo, what brings you joy? I think that's a really beautiful place to start when it comes to getting to know ourselves, because it's more of a happier entryway, right? We know what pisses us off, we know what makes us angry, right? Humans love to connect over shared anger and rage, right? Oh, girl, you know what she did? Oh, did you hear? But what do you find beautiful? What do you find giggle worthy? That might be a really a nice place to start. Everything's gone quiet. Okay. What makes me smile is why am I so nervous to talk about myself? Because this wasn't supposed to be about me. This is supposed to be about us as a humanity. But detachment from the outcome, I suppose. I love flowers, all kinds, all sizes, all fragrances, all designs and colors. I love hummingbirds. On my journey to find the most beautiful thing that humans have to offer or Earth has to offer, I think hummingbirds top tier, top tier. What else? I love baby giggles. Um, I love dogs. I love music. I love singing. Love singing. And I love that grounded feeling that you get when you're sitting in nature. I can go on and on, but I'd rather not. Um, but I think this is a really excellent place to start. When remembering who we are, I was going to say underneath the titles and identities. I'm going to say above. When we are remembering who we are above the titles, above the identities, above our roles, above where we've found ourselves currently, what brings us joy? And if you're watching this, share in the comments. I want to know what brings you joy. And I think that's it. I think that's all I want to say today. I'm genuinely curious. What brings you joy? Okay, all for now. Okay, the challenge is I'm going to post tomorrow. See ya.